There's a program you might not have heard of, and today I want to share a bit about it and talk to some people who are a part of it. Good morning, Magic. I'm Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast, and something relatively new to Magic is the New Perspectives Grant Program. This program aims to support the inclusion of Magic enthusiasts who belong to historically underrepresented groups by providing assistance to attend MagicCons. It's a really great program, and if you want to apply, applications for MagicCon Chicago, taking place February 23rd to 25th, 2024, are currently open. You can send in your application online at the link that's on the screen right now, and the link is also in the video description down below. Now, applications are about to close this Thursday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're interested, get your application in now. So what can you expect from the program? Well, I figured who better to tell you about it than people actually in it. Take it away, folks.
Hi, I'm Lityara and I use they, them pronouns.
Hi, my name's Alfredo. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am from California.
Hello, my name is bobbie-christine Brewer. I'm from Dallas, Texas. My pronouns are she, her.
Hello, my name's Jesus Garcia, also known as Hispanic at the Disco on Twitter. I go by he, him, and I'm actually from the Chicagoland area over in northern Illinois.
I've been playing Magic for about 3.5 years now. I first got into it through the Ravnica book because I was an avid D&D player, and I still am. I was super drawn in by the world building, especially the Simic. Shout out to the Simic, favorite guild. And through that, I started engaging with Magic a lot through creative work and deck building. So I did visual art, whether that was mini painting, fiber crafts, or digital painting. I wrote a lot of fan writing. I did a lot of analysis of the world building, the characters, and the color pie, and how those things all came together. But I think the thing that really tied me to the Magic community and made me want to invest myself in it as deeply as I have is the way that I met a lot of other marginalized fans who, whether they were disabled or queer or otherwise found themselves a minority, felt like they hadn't been welcomed in physical spaces relating to their hobby. And because I felt that way too, I really wanted to make a community and create a space where we could feel like we had one another and we could contribute to our community meaningfully, somewhere where we could be accepted. And so I focused my work on a lot of community building, and I think that's the centerpiece of what I've been doing in the Magic community and the thing that I'm the most proud of, how I've managed to bring all these people together, and I've gotten a lot of really positive and valuable feedback about how I've changed these people's lives. Like, that's still a deep honor to me, and I can't really fully articulate how much it means that my intent to create that space has blossomed in such a way.
My experience with Magic goes over 20 years ago. My mom would take me to a local game store when my dad worked long hours and odd shifts, and we would wait for him to get off work. There I was introduced to this wonderful game known as Magic the Gathering by the community and the owner there, who took me under their wing. I've always loved the game ever since then. It's been a big pillar in my life, and really they are the reason why I've become so much more involved with Magic the Gathering as a community. It's always been just a driving force in my life, and I want it to always be that way for as long as it can.
Enthralled with Magic at 15 years old in the middle of the Lorwyn block, and have been playing ever since. Recently, Magic's become a part of my everyday life, which is thanks to an amazing online Commander community who inspired me by giving me a place to share the comfort that Magic's always given me. Thanks to Spelltable in particular, we all got to play more Commander online than I think we ever got to in person these past few years. I formed two communities, the bobbie-christine and Birds of Paradise. Both are focused on inclusivity and positive gaming experiences. I think the thing I uniquely bring to Magic is my ability to foster community, as well as my ability to create very communicative multiplayer experiences.
My background with Magic, I started back in 2016. My roommate Kevin, back in college at the time, got me into Magic as we shared other hobbies. I didn't really become more involved with the community until I started getting involved at my college's clubs, where there were a lot of people who started playing Commander. So I would be playing Commander. My first Commander deck was an Edgar Markov Precon, but before that I was theory crafting a Brea deck, which is now my bread and butter, my baby. And then I didn't really go off the deep end and really went full dive onto the community until about 2018, when I met Chris Martin in GP Milwaukee.
So I actually first heard about the New Perspectives grant when Magic 30 was first being announced, so the very beginning of the program. But I think the time when I really got invested in it and thought, this is something that I myself could pursue was MagicCon Philly, because that was the one associated with Phyrexia All Will Be One, which is my favorite set ever, world building mechanically and art direction wise, and I knew I really wanted to go behind the scenes and be deeply involved with that. So I wrote my application, and the center of it was really about the Phyrexian stories that I was interested in telling and learning more about, and the way that I hoped going to that con would be able to bring my community closer together. And I managed to get in.
I first heard about the New Perspectives program through Twitter. They had just announced the Magic 30 events, and I really wanted to go, and there was this amazing program where Wizards would help provide just an amazing grant to folks who are from marginalized identities and marginalized communities, and I was able to attend the Magic 30 Vegas experience.
I was a New Perspective grant recipient for MagicCon Philadelphia, and I initially heard of the grant from fellow community members who were basically just boosting the signal online.
So I first heard about the New Perspectives program actually just looking at the Magic 30 page, because my dad said he would cover a vacation for me. Well, he would cover a vacation for me as a birthday present. We were originally planning on going to League of Legends World Championships at the time for Magic 30. Didn't quite work out, and then I saw the New Perspectives program kind of pinned on the event page. And at the time, I was recording my podcast with Chris, so I thought I would shoot for it. I ended up getting it, and I was one of the first people to get in on the New Perspectives program on Magic 30, which was a fantastic experience.
I can pretty confidently say that MagicCon Philly ended up being one of my best memories. I was able to bring 3 of my closest online friends who I'd met through the community that I formed with me to Philly, and we went to the convention together. And that was, I loved that. We made so many great memories, and I think one of my highlights from the con was when we went to the art gallery at Philly on the first day of the con, and they had all of the concept art from the Phyrexian arc, including like way back. And I love Phyrexians and I love art, and we got to talk to a lot of the people involved behind the scenes of the set about the story and the art direction. We even got to talk to MK about the Phyrexian language, and that was super cool. So I think it was just a great time for us to be Vorthoses together, and to bring that sense of community that I'd created online into my physical life, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. That was incredible.
Magic 30 Vegas was quite an unforgettable 3 days of just, what is love for the game. And I got to meet wonderful folks there who I'd never met before. I also got to meet folks that I had known online for a while. And really, it's just an unforgettable experience. Whether it was, playing games, sitting with folks at the panels, to just hanging out and talking about this game that we all come to love and adore.
I remember the convention extremely fondly because I got to meet so many friends for the first time. I got to play so many games in person with people from my community for the first time. I got to experience what it's like to have a VIP badge, which was really cool. I got to watch Rachel Weeks take down Jimmy and Josh with a whole bunch of birds during Game Nights Live, which I enjoyed a lot. And I also acquired my very first Mana Crypt at MagicCon.
MagicCon was great. Like, when I was first there for like the first day, it was a bit of like imposter syndrome. I was like, wow, I really shouldn't be here, yet I am. And then I started talking with some other guys, Mary, Cameron, Chris, Nick O. These are some of the people who also had Black Lotus badges I ended up meeting there. Fantastic guys. We ended up spending most of the weekend together. I also ended up meeting various other people. Obviously the other New Perspectives winners. Shout out to Evan Broad. Fantastic guy, Dark Pack cosplay. And it was great. Just the friends I made there who I still talk to on the daily. The pickup games, and it allowed me to network with some other people. And while my first day was me just kind of figuring myself out, once I started talking and like running into the other New Perspectives grant winners, as well as some of just the other guys who were just there to have a good time, it was great. We all ended up getting along.
I definitely felt a sense of belonging there. Like, unmatched by anything else that I've ever experienced in a gaming space. Like, I remember walking across the convention floor in this costume and not only being complimented on it, but also being acknowledged as a member of the Magic community, somebody who was capable, somebody who could create. And that was something that I think I'd been missing for a really long time. So it was really nice to be able to get that at MagicCon. One big takeaway that I'm really thankful for that I got from MagicCon is the idea that my stories matter. Because I'd always been somebody who was very passionate about telling stories, but I think until I really got the grant and got that involved in MagicCon, I kind of felt like they would be inconsequential. But MagicCon showed me that not only were the stories that I had to tell potentially important and enriching to the community, but I was also somebody who could belong in that community, because I had felt alienated a lot. I'd felt a lot like I could never belong, or that there was no place for people like me. But so I'm really thankful for, I guess, the glimmer of hope I have that maybe I could play a larger role in creating a community around the story and the game that I love.
I felt really welcome at MagicCon. It was just, you're just surrounded by other folks who are so passionate and in love with the game as yourself. It's just kind of taking that local game store experience and just expanding it over 3 days, in this one venue that, everyone's just congregating to. There's cosplayers, there's the artists, there's so much more to experience that I could possibly describe in this short answer. But it is truly one of the best experiences as a Magic fan.
The New Perspective grant had the distinct effect of helping me feel more like a sense of belonging in Magic the Gathering. This is something that is really powerful to feel, honestly, as a trans woman and as a person of color. Feeling like I could share my mission of good games and inclusivity with more than just my inner circle was a really big impact of getting the grant.
Well, first of all, I think if somebody were to come to me for advice, I think the first piece of advice I'd give is that your story is worth telling. Because I know that, at least for me, when I was thinking about applying, I was really doubting myself. I was thinking, I'm not impactful enough, I don't have big enough of a reach, I'm not important enough to get this. But I think when I managed to get in, I realized that it was important to me to have faith in the importance of the stories that I wanted to tell. And I think that was what helped me be more successful. So that would definitely be my first piece of advice. My second piece of advice is that if you do get into the con, you will have a huge roster of things that you could do. There will be signings, competitions, panels, and you're going to have to, pick what matters the most to you and focus on cultivating a sense of community and figuring out what you really are invested in, rather than treating the convention like a checklist. Because I promise you that you will make far better memories going to a couple of places with the friends you've made and having deep conversations than you ever will trying to get to every single event.
The advice I would give to someone applying to the program would be yourself. Speak from the heart, answer the prompts as best to your ability, and just share your love. Share aspects of yourself that might be a little bit hard to talk about sometimes if you're feeling up to it. That's what I ended up doing, and thankfully I was accepted as part of the grant. There is no requirements. You don't have to be X, Y, or Z. Just be yourself. Truly, that is, I think, one of the most validating things about the program is that at the time of applying, I didn't think I was going to get in. I didn't think there was something about me that was missing. But I am so thankful and grateful that I was accepted. And as a grant winner, I say absolutely, please go for it. It is a wonderful program. Just speak from the heart.
If you are thinking about applying, I highly recommend it. There are so many ways players can face marginalization still in Magic, from gender and attraction to our skin color to even neurodivergence or having a physical disability. There's just so many ways. So you do not need to be a content creator or a big name in Magic whatsoever. To apply, you should simply love Magic and wish to unify your unique perspective with the game that you love. I definitely recommend applying if you're thinking about it.
Be yourself. Plain and simple. Present yourself how you want to be presented. Just, if you're applying, be yourself. Show people what you want to bring to the table. And just be a good person. Legit.
Thank you all so much for contributing your time to today's video and talking a bit about the New Perspectives grant program. If you're interested, once again, applications are only up until the morning of Thursday the 9th, so get yours in as soon as possible. And they are only available for people who live in the United States for now, though we're always looking to expand. So if that excludes you this time, keep checking back with every MagicCon. Thanks for watching today, and I'll talk with you again soon. Until then, may you see things from a new perspective. You got this.
In each pre-release event, you'll get handed one of these, a Lost Caverns of Ixalan pre-release pack. Among other things, inside you'll find a spin down D20, a special stamped pre-release card, yes, you can play in your deck, and of course, the heart and soul of your experience, those booster packs. You'll be cracking all of those open and using them to build